Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming, 999 Dead, and the 99 Army, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9, The Red Fair movie night. I'm really excited to talk about this. There's a lot of good stuff going down. Before we get too far into this episode, I do have to say, tonight's streams are there's some flexibility to them. And this is what I mean by that, is we're doing this stream, obviously we're going to talk about the Red Fair. If the spoilers come out during this stream, do not post the spoilers in this stream. There's many people here that want to speculate. We're going to talk about some theories, some predictions. So this is not going to be a spoiler stream. I'll say that a couple times, but they may post within the next hour or so. Now, if they do post, we will be doing a spoiler video at 9:30 tonight. Those of you that don't like spoilers, don't watch if it is a spoiler video. If the spoilers do not post, then at 9:30, we are going to be talking about exactly what Ellis Smith Jr. just brought up, The Walking Dead spinoff. Exciting new news came out about a brand new series that's going to come up. We're going to talk about, there's very little details, but we're going to have some fun with it and talk about what we want to do. Mariah, Thrones Thursday is a very, very good question. We're going to table the Game of Thrones conversation for the next couple weeks until we get closer to the Game of Thrones, and we're really going to focus on The Walking Dead, the Red Fair, and some of the things going on with that. I mentioned to the Patreons a little bit earlier, and then I'll do that post on the Facebook page so you guys know kind of what's going on. There's so much Walking Dead content out there that we have not talked about that we need to dig down a little bit deeper. So I figured it was best over the next couple weeks just to focus on our bread and butter. We still got till April 14th for the Game of Thrones, so we got plenty of time. Once Game of Thrones starts out, we're going to do countdown videos, we're going to do reaction videos, and we're going to do recaps. So that's kind of what's in store. So I'm going to transition it to the Red Fair. Once again, if the spoilers do post, no spoilers in this stream, please. So we got some good stuff to talk about. A couple other things really hit as we've thrown some of the theories out there and funneled them. When I saw last week the projector bulb, that was something that, in addition to all the references to the fair and all the Walking Dead mailbag references to the fair, there is no way that this is not going to be one of the most epic events in Walking Dead history. I mean, they needed something, and not only did they need a good event, they need a name for it. And you know what? I am perfectly fine loaning them our name that we created here. Let's hype it up. Let's start hashtagging. Let's get it out there. I told you guys, I can guarantee you there's going to be other YouTubers out there using the name within a couple weeks. We might as well, once AMC kind of gets it out there, then it'll just circulate and go everywhere. But I thought The Walking Dead needed something that is not only good, like for example, when Herschel died, was there anything that was like a major name or anything that made you think of that other than the Herschel death? And with Negan, it was just called The Lineup. So there hasn't been, is there any event on The Walking Dead that's ever had its own name? Like, you've got Game of Thrones, you got Battle of the Bastards, you got The Red Wedding, you got all kind of stuff out there. Where's the Walking Dead signature moment name? Can you guys think of one? I can't even think of one. So we have officially given it a name. We put a name on it, and I think now it's up to the writers of Walking Dead to really do us justice and make sure it is a big deal. So I'm going to go through a couple bullet points. One thing I'm going to ask you guys to do in this stream is give me some things that you think that you will see during this fair event. So, one thing to keep in mind when we first did the speculation for this, I did not know where this was going to happen. So I kept saying it's going to be at the hilltop and Earl's going to be there. There's going to be some blacksmithing. There's going to be some things going on. And I just had this envision of the hilltop location because Alpha was kind of outside the gate and we knew of some of that stuff. But now we know that it's going to be at the kingdom. So they're inviting everybody to come to the kingdom. Now that changes the dynamic a little bit. And there are some challenges as to how they're going to get to that location. Julia Muse says, how do you know it's going to be at the kingdom? Because they have a movie theater. They got a theater right there, and they've had movie night. So it's going to be kind of hard for them to build a, unless they do a makeshift. But I'm going to go with Kingdom because of the movie theater movie night. So the question is going to come up, though, is how Alpha and crew and everybody know about the Kingdom and know what's going on at the Kingdom, which also creates a very, very awkward transition, which is why I'm so eager to find out about the spoilers this week. Not because I don't have a hint of what happens. So the Red Fair most likely is going to be hinted at, not this week, but next week at the end of 13. They're most likely going to leave it as a pretty solid cliffhanger. And then we're going to get the flashback episode in 14. And then we're going to get all the death and destruction in 15. 15, I think, is where it really, really goes down toward the end of the season. So with that being said, here's where we are this week. We've got Henry captured, Daryl and Connie in hot pursuit. Now we need to think about how this goes down. So I don't have the spoilers yet for this week, but I will have them very soon. It would not make sense for Daryl to see Henry tied up and then Daryl to leave to go tell people, hey, Henry's tied up, and then they continue with the fair. Does that make sense to everybody? If Daryl goes back and says, hey, Ezekiel, your son's tied up, then there is no fair. They're not going to go through with this. And Casey, I don't even think they let Henry escape for the same reason. I have a hard time believing that Henry and Daryl will escape before the Red Fair. What's up, Dead on Leprechaun? Thank you so much. Appreciate that super chat, my man. Dude, it's on a timer. Here we go again. So I feel like Daryl, Henry, and Connie, when the spoilers come out tonight, will all be taken hostage. Maybe Connie gets away and goes back to try to warn the people of Hilltop, but then they're all at Kingdom. I mean, that could go down. But I don't see any scenario where Henry and Daryl escape before the Red Fair. Because that's going to ruin Alpha's big surprise. And I think the scene where Alpha and Beta are standing there, with the group of 4 or 5 people, and they put, she's like, shh. I think that's outside the Kingdom. I think that's in the woods outside the Kingdom, and that's right before they're getting ready to go in and do their thing. Now, what's interesting about this is if Daryl is captured, then that takes him out of the whole fair situation. And once again, those of you, if spoilers are up, Corey's saying they are, do not post spoilers in chat. If you do in this stream, I will block you. So let's not take any chances with that. Like I said, I'm going to say it several times. This is a speculation stream. And Corey, I know several people will check them out, which is all good. So if the spoilers are up, we will do the spoilers at 9:30. All right, cool. And I would prefer if you guys did not watch the spoilers just yet, because then you're going to be inclined to chime in as we sort of talk through it. So I don't want to know yet. I just want to sort of think through it. But I feel like Daryl and Henry, maybe Connie never gets captured, but they got to keep Daryl at bay, because as soon as word spreads, that fair is over. So the fair has to go on. It must go on. Thank you, Leprechaun. Appreciate that. All right. As you can see, we got Tara posted here as well. So the people that are going to be part of this fair, I think Michonne gives in. Michonne's going to be there. Tara, Rosita, Earl, and Tammy with their Whisperer baby. They want to show off the baby, right? That's not going to go over real well with Alpha. That's going to be a problem. And this movie theater. So I'm going to throw it out there because I want to get a couple of your comments included in this video. If this fair event goes down like we truly said, and it becomes the Red Fair, what are you most excited to see? And I've got another clue. It was a very subtle clue when it was said, but I do think it is going to be a big deal for the kingdom. And I'll give you that after I read a couple of your comments. Looking forward to seeing who dies. Multiple. Mark Jacobs says Ezekiel dying. The chaos when that happens. Westwood Chronic, I'm sure we'll get our Alden Luke duet at the fair. Good times. Looking forward to that. Thank you for that, Chronic. You must have read my mind, Westwood, because that was one of my big hidden clues. Do you guys remember when Alden and Luke were first walking in the woods, and Luke says to Alden, "You sing?" Let's see who remembers Alden's response to that. Now we know Luke plays a lot of instruments, but when he asked Alden, does he sing, Alden had a very specific response. There you go, Khaleesi said, "I've been known to sing when I get a little drink in me." Key point there. I got a feeling we're going to have some alcohol at the kingdom. Your warriors are not going to be on point. They're not going to be on guard. They're not going to be ready. Going to be dark. Going to have some fires going. They're going to be relaxed. Had a few drinks. What better time to strike than at that moment? We got Tom Ferrer super chatting, says, "Could you imagine if Alpha decapitated children?" Tom, I don't think children. But do you remember those 3 teenagers? I would not be surprised if one of those 3. And I hope it's the one that was peeing all over the walkers. I think that would be ironic justice. We got Westwood Chronic super chatting again, said, "Enid will be handing out balloons with no helium." Oh my God. And you know what? They'll fly up, and Maggie will see them, and she'll know that Enid is alive. That is great. I need Leprechaun to give us some text. I love the super chatting timer. It's like clockwork. Leprechaun, at least give us the timer. What is your super chat timer set on? Is it every 2 minutes? What is happening? Drama King, when Alpha says to Lydia, "You had to lie," is it possible Lydia was lying to Daryl about her story to infiltrate and gain trust at the hilltop? Drama, it definitely could be. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that story, but the one part of Lydia lying, I felt like Alpha is just trying to make her comfortable. So certainly she could have, there could have been something specific about lying, bits and pieces. Maybe, hey, how she felt about Henry, if she reads her daughter that well, or just setting her up for a future lie that she knows that she's going to have to tell. Letting her know, hey, you had to lie. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's just words, just air. Almost as if Do it again. I might need you to do that again. Darlene Crone says, what new characters do you think we will meet at the fair? You know, I don't know that, as far as outside communities, I don't know that we'll meet any. We might be introduced to some of the ones that have been there for 6 or 7 years that maybe haven't gotten a lot of airtime. I love it. Dead on Leprechaun. Super chats every 2 to 3 minutes, but more if we speak of Tara's death. That is... All right. Well, that is part of it as well, Leprechaun, because I have a theory that has to do with Rosita as well. So, Newfield 12 wants to know about the cowboy. And see, that's the thing, is I don't know if the cowboy is a new group. I don't know if the cowboy is at the fair, or if the cowboy is back in time whenever the time skip happened, or not the flashback scene with the exes. Jason Reed, I predict Daryl, Carol, Ezekiel, Rosita. Yeah, that is a prediction that will never happen. Because I can tell you, there is exactly zero possibility that Daryl will be on a pike. Like none. All right, I'm going to jump around to a couple other theories that I think are going to go down at the fair. So, one is I think Alden is going to be trashed and they're going to start singing. And I think while Alden and Luke, the Symphony of Awesome, are singing to the adults, I think the kids and the teenagers are going to be watching the movie. And I just feel like the way this is going to go down is it's going to be everything is perfect. Everybody's having a good time. The movie's at the perfect place. You know, there's laughing, there's joking, there's some popcorn going on. The adults are out getting torn up. You know, there's adult music happening. And that's when I think it's going to be a strike. And I think it's going to all hit at the same time. I think that they're going to hit, you know, Ezekiel's going to be there. And I feel like Ezekiel's death is going to set off the chain reaction. That they're going to hit the theater, and they're going to hit the Symphony of Awesome, and they're going to hit Ezekiel, like, at the same time. Just when we're feeling the absolute best we can feel, when they feel they've accomplished everything, I think it's just going to be one after another, after another, after another. And it will be the Walking Dead signature moment. Absolutely caught off guard. Now, as I mentioned, I don't think you're going to get the kids. I do think you'll get some of the teens. Westwood Chronic, baby Gracie kidnapped during the movie. Ooh. Interesting. That would definitely fire Aaron up. It'll depend. It'll depend who we got watching the kids. Negan not invited, but Negan watching, perhaps. Seeing it from an outside perspective, so he doesn't get killed, one, or doesn't get sucked into it and get captured. All right. Now, I'm going to give you my heartbreaking prediction for the Red Fair. And dead on Leprechaun, it's not Tara yet. If you guys are ready for my heartbreak prediction during the fair, pike the like button. Let's get this thing over 100 likes, because I'm going to put you in a scenario that's just it's going to break you down. Because it does involve one of the most happy-go-lucky people on The Walking Dead. There you go. People are like that dang button. Let's get this thing rolling. Imagine Jerry in slow-mo witnessing and having to choose between Ezekiel and Nabila. Can you see the utter destruction and ruthless nature of Jerry losing his entire world? The king on one hand and his wife on the other. If that would not be an epic red fair writing moment, seeing all this transpire. You know how we kind of got in the Connie mode with you could barely hear the sounds? Just think about Jerry. Not only, they got a bonfire going on, the singing's kind of drowned it out, where you can just hear a little bit from Jerry's perspective of a drunk Alden trying to sing, the bonfire, and then to the left, Ezekiel stabbed just like Jesus was, and then over to the side, Nabila decapitated. What is Jerry going to do? He can't go left, he can't go right, he's paralyzed. Meanwhile, at the movie theater, loud noise, popcorn, people being rustled out of there. I'm telling you, this is the way we got to write it. This is the way it has to go down. It's got to be memorable. It has to be better than the Negan lineup. It has to be better than Terminus. It has to be better than the Governor. This is the Walking Dead signature moment. And as Dead on Leprechaun alluded to, it doesn't stop there. We've all heard over and over again, Rosita ends up on a pike. But no. Tara, in a moment, takes it for Rosita, and Tara is the one. It finally ends Tara's story. But it does it in such a classic, epic, breakthrough way, where she falls instead of Rosita. Would redeem Tara in my mind, and would end her character on such a high note. I would absolutely love it. And then a couple of the teenagers, we wouldn't care about that. And the group wants to fight, but they can't. Because there's other communities. But Michonne, Carol, captured. Spoiling Dead's fan page has rumors that Daryl, Michonne, and Carol will all be captured at the Whisper Camp. We know this week that Daryl is there. So we can probably safely say Daryl could get captured this week. And in what other scenario could you think about where Michonne and Carol both get captured? If Ezekiel's dead, then Carol might just be drug out. Michonne is a fighter. So it would definitely take a lot to capture Michonne. So I think you get a combination of death and you get a combination of capture. And I do feel like this is going to go down in episode number 15. But what happens in tonight's spoilers is a big, big deal. So I'm going to go check out those spoilers, and we're going to talk about it here at 9:30. So if you want to be in a spoiler chat, a lot of this stuff is known, I will tell you, but there are some minor details that we'll find out in those spoilers that are going to tell us about the transition. Most notably, whether or not Daryl gets captured, whether or not Daryl and Beta have a fight. All of those things are things that I want to find out tonight, and we'll get involved in the spoilers. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Hashtag the Red Fair, everybody. We got 250, 300 people here. Do me a favor. Everybody hit that like button if you had a good time. If you're enjoying the double streams this week, if you're brand new, subscribe, hang out with us. You will not find a better group of people anywhere in social media on the internet than the group of people's typing right now. What an awesome group. This 999 Army is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. I'm not going to do shout-outs in this video because we're going to jump over there. But let's really hype up the name The Red Fair, because when it becomes mainstream and everybody says it, I want everybody to go back and say, this was something that was created by the 999 Army. This is something that we hyped up and got out there. And when Chris Hardwick says it, or when AMC, then hopefully they'll just give us a little shout-out. So spoilers at 9:30 right here. I will see everybody.